He smiled at you yesterday. He shook your hand. He called you friend, and yet, somewhere behind those eyes, something cold was calculating your downfall. This is the most uncomfortable truth about human nature. Hatred rarely announces itself. It hides behind courtesy. It wears the mask of kindness, and if you don't learn to see through it, you will be blindsided by the very people you trusted most. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, understood this better than anyone. He sat on a throne surrounded by senators who bowed to him, generals who saluted him, and advisors who praised his every word. And yet he wrote in the privacy of his own journal that he must rise each morning prepared to meet people who were jealous, ungrateful, insolent, and deceitful, not because he was paranoid, but because he understood something most people spend their whole lives. Refusing to accept a proximity to power invites hidden resentment, and so does simply living an honest, visible life. You don't need to be an emperor for this lesson to apply to you. You just need to have something someone else wants. Your peace, your progress, your quiet confidence, your ability to keep going when they gave up. That alone is enough to plant a seed of hatred in a heart too weak to admit it. So today we uncover 9 brutal signs someone secretly hates you. Signs so subtle that most people miss them until the damage is already done. And we will use Marcus Aurelius' own hard-earned wisdom to help you see clearly, respond with strength, and never be a victim of hidden hostility again. The first sign is exaggerated praise. Real respect is quiet, but when someone constantly showers you with loud, public compliments and the kind that seem performed for an audience, rather than felt in private, pay attention. Marcus warned himself daily about flattery, because he knew flattery is often the perfume people spray over their resentment. If someone praises you the loudest in front of others, but never truly celebrates your wins when it's just the two of you, that's not admiration, that's a mask. The second sign is silence at your success. Watch how people react when something good happens to you. The ones who truly care will feel joy that doesn't need to be forced, but the ones who secretly hate you will go quiet. Their congratulations will feel thin, mechanical, delayed. Marcus believed that a disciplined mind must learn to read the truth beneath people's reactions, because words lie far more often than reactions do. The third sign is subtle sabotage disguised as concern. I'm just looking out for you. I don't want you to get hurt. Are you sure you can handle that? These phrases sound protective, but when they consistently appear right before your biggest opportunities, they are not protection. They are quiet attempts to keep you small. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that some people cannot stand to see another rise, so they disguise their sabotage as wisdom. The fourth sign is comparison that never stops. Someone who secretly hates you will always bring up someone else's achievements around you, not to inspire you, but to remind you that you are not enough. This is not motivation. This is manipulation dressed as conversation, and Marcus knew that comparison is one of the oldest poisons known to the human mind, because it convinces you to measure your worth using someone else's ruler. The fifth sign is selective memory. They forget the things you did for them, but they remember in painful detail the one time you disappointed them. This isn't forgetfulness, it's strategy. It allows them to justify their coldness while appearing innocent. Marcus warned that the ego will always find reasons to justify resentment, even when those reasons are built on selective and unfair memory. The sixth sign is discomfort with your calmness. This one is deeply revealing. When you stop reacting to drama, when you respond with peace instead of anger, watch who becomes irritated by your composure. People who secretly hate you do not want you calm. They want you shaken, because your peace exposes their chaos. Marcus Aurelius spent his whole life training his mind to remain undisturbed, because he knew that unstable people cannot stand to be near someone who has mastered themselves. The seventh sign is public support but private sabotage. They defend you when everyone is watching, but behind closed doors they whisper doubts about you, plant seeds of suspicion, or quietly undermine your reputation. This is one of the cruelest signs because it creates confusion. You begin to doubt your own perception of the relationship. Marcus warned that hidden betrayal, disguised as loyalty, is one of the heaviest burdens a wise man must learn to carry without becoming bitter. The eighth sign is the sting of backhanded compliments. You're doing well for someone who started so late. I'm surprised you pulled that off. These are daggers dressed in soft cloth, and Marcus taught that a mind rooted in self-respect does not need approval from cruel and clever tongues, because those who use backhanded compliments are trying to control your confidence by planting quiet doubt. The ninth and final sign is the one most people overlook: indifference to your pain. When you go through struggle, and instead of comfort they offer distance, silence, or subtle judgment. This reveals more than any argument ever could. Marcus reminded himself that true character is exposed not in moments of celebration, but in moments of suffering. Because anyone can smile with you, but only those who care will stay present in your storm. Now here is the deeper truth beneath all 9 signs. None of this hatred is really about you. It is about them. Their insecurity, their unfulfilled potential, their inability to face their own reflection. Marcus Aurelius taught something radical for his time, that people do wrong not because they are inherently evil, but because they are confused, wounded, or spiritually blind. This doesn't mean you excuse the behavior. It means you understand it clearly enough that it no longer controls your emotions. Because here is the twist most people never expect. The goal is not to expose these people. The goal is not to confront them or seek revenge. The goal, according to Marcus, is far more powerful. It is to become so disciplined, so composed, and so rooted in your own values that their hidden hatred simply cannot touch the core of who you are. You do not need everyone to love you. You do not need to convince the ones who secretly resent you. You only need to remain unshaken, dignified, and clear-eyed, because peace is the ultimate revenge against those who wished for your destruction. And this leads to the final brutal truth. Some people will hate you not because of what you did wrong, but because of what you did right. Your growth, your healing, your discipline, your refusal to shrink yourself to make others comfortable, that will always threaten those who have chosen to stay stagnant. And when you finally accept this, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing approval. You stop over-explaining your choices. You stop bleeding energy trying to convince people to see your worth. Marcus Aurelius did not waste his life trying to be loved by everyone. He focused on becoming a man whose character could not be shaken by praise or destroyed by hatred. That is the model. That is the mindset. That is the discipline required to walk through a world filled with hidden resentment and still remain whole. So the next time you notice these 9 signs in someone close to you, do not react with anger. Do not seek confrontation. Simply observe, adjust your boundaries, protect your peace, and walk forward with the quiet strength of someone who understands that hidden hatred says everything about the person carrying it and nothing about your true worth. Because in the end, the people who secretly hate you are not your enemies. They are mirrors reflecting their own unhealed pain onto your path, and the moment you stop needing their approval is the moment their hatred loses all its power over your life.